Alright, what's up guys? All new deck profile today. Today we're doing Dark Worlds. Now this is Dark Worlds post Master Rule 5. Master Rule 5 has a ton of positive changes for Dark Worlds. For one thing, when you use Super Poly, you can summon it in the main monster zone. Unfortunately, we did lose some of the dangers, but we have actually gotten Pot of Avarice at 3. We're not playing at 3, but we can play it at 3 if we wanted to. But that's definitely a positive move in the right direction. Secondly, since it's Master Rule 5, we also get to use number 97. Number 97 is incredibly useful, lets us pump out some crazy number monsters. And then on top of that, we have 3 new cards that we have access to, which are Crystron, Needle Fiber, Predaplant Verde Anaconda, and Union Carrier. 3 cards that will benefit our deck immensely. But I guess without further ado, let's get started. First of all, we play 3 copies of the CEO of Dark Worlds, which is, of course, Grapha. Grapha, basically, when he's discarded, not for cost, when he's discarded by card effect, you can pop a card on your opponent's side of the field, doesn't matter what kind, spell, trap, monster, get a pop a card. Secondly, he also has a summoning condition, not a card effect, a summoning condition, where you can bounce a Dark World back to your hand and then special summon him from the graveyard. Again, that is not a summoning condition. That is incredibly useful, because you can put them back in your hand and activate dangers, and you refill your own resources, which is incredibly useful. But yeah, definitely 3 of him. We are going second most of the time. Then we play 3 copies of Lucent. Lucent is one of the ones that special summons themselves when they're discarded. Lucent just happens to be the strongest. You also have Beige and Silver and Gold. They all special summon themselves when they're discarded. But Lucent has basically that effect. He special summons himself when he's discarded. He's also 2400. He's huge. On top of that, if he's discarded by your opponent's card effect, which does happen, occasionally. If he's discarded by your opponent's card effect, you can special summon a fiend from your deck, which is again useful. Then we play 2 copies of Brow. Basically, when he's discarded, he gets to draw you a card. If he's discarded by your opponent's card effect, he draws you 2 cards. Then we play 3 copies of Snow. She's like, second in command. She's very good. She basically searches the entire archetype. It's crazy. But yeah, definitely 3 Snow. When she's discarded, you search any Dark World card. And then if she's discarded by your opponent's card effect, you get to special summon a monster from from either graveyard. So we play all of that. Next, for the Danger package, because this is Dark World Danger, we play 1 copy of Tsushinoko, because we can only play 1. 1 copy of Nessie, because we can only play 1. And 1 copy of Jackalope, because we can only play 1. All 3 of them are extremely good, and that's why they are where they are on the ban list. Next, we play 1 copy of Danger Mothman. Mothman is... Oh, I'm sorry, not 1 copy. We actually play 2 copies of Danger Mothman, because we have to bump up the amount of dangers in our deck, because some of them got hit. But, yeah, we play 2 copies of Danger Mothman. He's he's very, very good for... He's very good in general for this deck, just because his secondary effect, which is if he gets discarded, is actually like Dark World Dealings. So sometimes it can actually help you even if he's selected as the card in your hand. But yeah, otherwise very good. Now for the important ones, the level 8s, we play 3 copies of Danger Bigfoot. Basically, he pops a card when he's discarded, but additionally, he's a level 8 when you do summon him. And of course he draws. 3 copies of Danger Thunderbird. Again, same situation. Free level 8, or he gets to pop a face down card. And then we play a Danger Ogopogo. This card's mostly here for the name, but it's also a level 8. The only other use is that it can fill your graveyard with stuff for Pot of Extravagance. I mean, not Pot of Extravagance, for Pot of Avarice. And the next card, which is Chaos Dragon Levianeer. Chaos Dragon Levianeer is just an amazing card to open with, because you actually can put lights in the graveyard through various ways. And then you can pop 2 cards, or you can just do it the traditional way and then just destroy and just make your opponent, get rid of a card in their hand. But again, it's a level 8. It's a free summon. It's really good. Next, we play 3 copies of Righty Driver. This is one of my favorite cards since Master Rule 5 has come out. It's incredibly, incredibly, incredibly good, because this card basically is a 1-card Appaloosa, 1-card Union Carrier equipped to something. It's a 1-card Boral Sword Dragon if you want. It's just incredibly, incredibly good. Going second, obviously, you're going to be going for Boral Sword more than anything else, but this card is really good. I've already done a few combo videos on this card, but it puts you out so far into your combo, and it's one of your only normal summons in this deck. You don't have any normal summons in this deck because it's Danger Dark World. Like you're summoning dangers, you're special summoning all of the Dark World cards. You don't normal summon in this deck all that much, so this is really your only normal summon. Sometimes you have to normal summon, for example, like a Snow or a Brow, and then bounce it back to your hand so you can summon a Grapha from your graveyard. Occasionally that will happen, but this is your only like on normal summon effect. But basically this card will get you to our one copy of Lefty Driver, and it'll just basically go into a giant combo after that. But yeah, we play one lefty and three righty. Then we play one copy of Blackwing Zephyros the Elite. This is another card. If it gets put in graveyard by a danger effect, terrific. Because you can just bounce a danger on your side of the field, special summon from grave, and then you have free link material, and then you can just reactivate the danger because they're not once per turn. Then we play one copy of Jet Synchron because will be going to Crystron Needle Fiber, and this is the only card that you can really summon off of that anymore since Glow Bulb is banned. This does have a cost of sending a card from hand to graveyard. It's not always bad because sometimes you can send like a Grapha. You won't get the effect to pop because this sends from hand, but you do get to put a Grapha in the graveyard, and then you can do all types of stuff like that. Then we play one copy of Dragon Buster Destruction Sword, and basically you will equip this to any of your Dark World monsters, or any Dark monster, or any Dragon monster in your deck. As long as you have that on the field, you can equip this to them, and then your opponent is locked out of special summoning from the extra deck. For the most part, this is a going second deck, but I like having this just as it's one card that you play in your main deck, just as an option. Sometimes you'll get unlucky and you'll be playing against like Cyber Dragons or something of that sort, and you just want to have some kind of option to go first, and this is going to be our option for that. Now for the spells and traps. We play 3 copies of Trade-In. Obviously we play a lot of level 8s, and a lot of our level 8s already have crazy effects when you activate them. So you can use like Trade-In, and then you get to pop with Bigfoot, so Trade-In becomes a +1 because you get rid of one of your opponent's cards. Then we play 1 copy of Danger Response Team. This card is very, very good for going second. I think it's the best Danger non-monster because it's just good. It's not really that it's that good. It's just that all the other danger spells and traps kind of aren't that great. But basically, this card lets you target a danger on your side of the field and one card on your opponent's side of the field, bounce them both to the hand. So that's already good because you can reuse that danger. But then its other effect is you can banish this from the graveyard. I'm sorry, you can shuffle this from the graveyard. It would not shuffle, but put it to the bottom of your deck, and then you can discard a danger and then draw a card. It's incredibly useful. Then we play 1 copy of Dark World Dealings. It is searchable with Snow. I'd like Dark World Dealings, but sometimes it ends up actually helping your opponent, so I'd rather have it when I need it. And there's plenty of other draw cards in this deck that you don't particularly really need it. Play 1 card destruction, and I don't mind playing card destruction because, again, this is a going second build, so it doesn't really matter if we activate card destruction because we're not setting up our opponent's graveyard because they've already set their graveyard up anyway. So by the time you use card destruction, you're getting rid of hand traps and stuff like that. If you're going second, they'll usually have like 1-2 cards in their hand at most, and you activate card destruction. If they have like not impermanence, but if they have like Effect Veiler or Ghost Ogre, you're just getting rid of it for free and making them draw stuff that they don't want particularly in their hand. And then of course it activates, triggers your effects. Sometimes you'll activate card destruction, you have like 5 effects going off in the graveyard at once. They can't possibly negate or interrupt everything. But yeah, very good for that. Then we play 1 copy of Gates of the Dark World, again searchable. This card basically boosts all your fiends by 300, and then on top of that it lets you banish a fiend for cost, discard a fiend from your hand, and then draw a card. It's not costs, the secondary effects aren't cost, and then you get to basically trigger your Dark Worlds. We play 2 copies of Pot of Avarice. Insane card in this deck. You put so many monsters in the graveyard so quickly. I mean, seriously. Especially with the Righty Driver and the Needle Fiber and all that, you put monsters in the graveyard unbelievably quickly. So you can just keep going through it and through and through. It's really good for that. Yeah, like, it's very good because it can, basically you put a bunch of monsters in your graveyard and you get to draw free cards. And then if you draw dangers, you get to use them all over again. It just restarts the holy battle. Then we've got 2 copies of Super Poly. I would play more, but I don't really need to all that much anymore. Like, it is a going second deck, but at the same time, we have Verde Anaconda, and it does the same thing as this card, so we don't have to particularly play more than we should. So that is everything for the main deck. Now we'll go to the extra deck. We play 1 copy of Starving Venom, basically your main target for Super Poly. And it's good to use against your opponent. Sometimes you're in battle phase and you have Super Poly in your hand. You attack with all your danger monsters. They have 400 life points left. You activate Super Poly and just finish them off. It's great. We play 1 copy of Diplexer Chimera because I can't stand Salamangreats. I really can't. I don't like the deck, and this craps on them. Then for the XYZ monsters, we play 1 copy of number 97. This card basically lets you special summon a number monster from your extra deck, and then place a number dragon monster from your extra deck, and then another number dragon monster underneath it as material for that monster that you're summoning. So basically that effect is extremely useful because it lets you go into monsters that would typically be very difficult to summon. Stuff like number 100 and number 92. You can go into both of these basically because activate this effect, and let's say you're going second, you overlay the number 92 underneath the number 100, and then this gains attack for every single rank on the field. This has 8, this has 1, and you basically have a 9,000 attack monster for free. The only thing is that monster, the only monster that can attack from then on is the monster that you special summon off this effect, and you can't special summon other monsters from other than this effect. Also, this card has randomly, it can't be targeted. Like, this card itself just cannot be targeted. I don't know why they put that on there, but it's on there, and you can't get impermanence, so that's good. So then we play the targets for that effect, which is number 100. Basically, this becomes a huge monster. It's very useful. Number 92, this is for when you go first. Basically, you summon this onto your field. It can't be destroyed by battle. Your opponent takes any battle damage from any battle with this card. And then during the end phase, if your opponent set or summoned any cards, you banish all of them. So as long as you summon this, and then this will most likely survive, and you banish everything they set. It's great against Altergeist. Then we play number 38. Negate spells, basically Hope Harbinger, Goat Harbinger. We play 1 copy of number 90, Photon Lord. This is your main way of playing through... what is it called? It's your main way of playing through Nibiru, because you can just make this and then negate the Nibiru. It's great. But yeah, it's your main way because you can easily put 2 level 8s on the field and then summon this, and you can't get Nibiru because it negates the effect. It negates a monster effect. We play 1 Linkaribo, 1 Relinquish Anima. These are played for the what is it called? For the Crystron Needle Fiber combo. You basically use this with, what's his name? Jet Synchron. You'll use Jet Synchron multiple times. You go into multiple links if you need to. We play 1 copy of Crystron Needle Fiber again. Most of the time you'll be using the Jet Synchron, but there are occasionally situations where you draw the Jet Synchron, and you can actually summon the Dragon Buster Destruction Sword if you're going second as your tuner monster for the Crystron Needle Fiber, and everything works out perfectly fine because it's still just kind of like a free monster anyway. But yeah, you could do that. 1 Predaplant Verde Anaconda basically lets you use Fusion Summon with Super Poly without needing Super Poly in your hand. Union Carrier to equip the Buster Dragon to any Dark Monster or any Dragon Monster, which you have plenty of. 1 Nightmare Phoenix. Sometimes you have to get rid of, like, there can only be 1 and just annoying floodgates. 1 Borrelsword Dragon. And 1 Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess. And, of course, like I said before, the righty driver is a 1-card Appaloosa or Borrelsword if you need it. But that's basically it. If you want, I already have some videos on how to use that righty driver. It's already on my channel. If you want it, go check it out. But that is it. I think this is a very, very good deck in Master Rule 5. You can go into a lot of different things. You're not gated by anything. Particularly, through your extra monster zone, you can just keep spamming and spamming. It's great. I actually like this deck a lot in Master Rule 5. And I guess let me know what you think.